Me and Marvin Gardens, Chapter 2, Apple Sausage and Mashed Potatoes. There were dinner bells. This bell was the Devlin bell. 100 years ago, the bell called family and farmhands spread over 175 acres in for meals. 40 years ago, it called Mom and her brothers and sister in from 40 acres they rented from the new owner. Now, we had only 3 acres, and Mom could just yell my name and I'd hear her, but she used the bell anyway. It was the only time she came outside anymore when she wasn't getting into her car to go to work. It was Monday. Bernadette was still in her softball practice clothes. She was a varsity freshman, which meant that she was good enough to play varsity even though she was only a 14-year-old ninth grader. "Can you mash these for me?" Mom asked, and Bernadette washed her hands and mashed a pot of potatoes. I set the table because that was my job. I folded the square paper napkins into triangles and placed a fork on top to the left of the plate. Knives and spoons on the right. We never used the spoons, but I had to put them out anyway. I kept thinking about the animal at the creek. It really didn't look like a dog. "Drink, Sobe." When Mom called me by my nickname, she used one syllable, Obe, like lobe without the L. But it was spelled the same as my real name, Obie, which was what you might say if a yellow jacket wasp showed up. Oh, bee, Obie. A weird name, maybe. But I lucked out compared to Bernadette, because the only way to shorten her name is Bernie, and that was a guy's name, which is why she wanted everyone to call her Bernadette. Anyway, most kids thought I was named after Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars, and I let them believe it. In real life, I was named after my grand uncle, the son of the man who drank all the Devlin land except for our house and our little wild patch. I like to believe that Obi meant son of a man who drank dirt, but really it had something to do with God or my having a big heart or something. At dinner, Dad was cranky and talked about how stupid people were about electronics, stuff like he returned the computer because the internet didn't work and he doesn't even have internet service. Claimed it came from the factory with honey in the DVD player, and the sticky kid was standing right there. Who puts a phone in the microwave to dry it? I climbed inside my plate of dinner and ate too fast. I didn't have anything to say about electronics. I was too busy thinking about the animal. I could still see it scurrying away in my head. Bernadette talked about softball because Mom and Dad asked how her practice went. While she talked, I thought about my pocket guide to animal tracks and tried to remember where I put it. The last place I saw it was in my room. Mom turned to me and said, "Obe, slow down." I slowed down, but I kept thinking about the animal and how it wasn't a dog or a cat or a possum or anything else I ever saw. "How'd you do on your math test today?" "Great." "I'm sure you did great," Dad said. "It was easy," I said. I felt myself get nervous as I said it, though. I probably didn't do so great. I cut a piece of apple sausage, scooped up mashed potatoes, and then rolled it in my corn and stuffed it in my mouth before anyone could ask anything else. Too late. Dad said, "Are you trying out for summer baseball this weekend?" I shook my head no. "But you're so good at it," Mom said. Bernadette said something, but I couldn't hear her over the sound of my own brain trying to come up with an excuse for not joining summer baseball. I readied the next bite, but before I could put it in my mouth, Dad reached over and touched my forearm, right on a mosquito bite, which made it itch. "So what if Tommy What's-His-Face gave you a hard time, right? You're young. He could be your friend next week again. Things change a lot when you're young. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, blah, 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 and blah, blah, were blah, blah, blah. So why don't you just think about it?" My plate was empty. The sun hadn't set yet. We ate early on Mondays because Mom worked the 6 to midnight shift at the warehouse. "I'm going to go clean up the creek," I said. "Manners," Mom said. I said, "May I please be excused? I'd like to go clean up the creek." Mom nodded and smiled. Dad said, "You spend too much time cleaning up after people." Bernadette said, "I think it's nice. He wants to help the environment." Dad laughed and blahed out a few sentences about what he thought about the environment. Something about how recycling is a joke, blah, blah, blah. Something about how if it still snows in winter, blah, 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 the world isn't getting any hotter. I don't know what 6th grade was like 30 years ago when Dad was there, but I bet Miss G could teach him a thing or two.